can women and men be friends only? So men who feel they can't be friends with women translates to we have no worth outside of feeding your sexual desires. Like, why can't you just be friends with us? What does it always have to be physical? And they're basically just literally saying, I am predatory. I can't be friends with women because I'm going to see them as a sexual object. I mean,
Well, a lot of guys try to fly under the radar and do friends first, and which that means their friendship was a fraud. They weren't really trying to be friends. They were trying to just be nice and fly under the radar and think, oh, she won't be attracted to me, but or like me, but if she gets to know me and see how great I am, then she'll want to fall in love with me and have my babies. And then what happens is they get to some point and you think it's strictly platonic, you're cool with it, you think he's cool with it, and then 6 months, a year, whenever, and then he's all of a sudden tells you he's in love with you and wants to have a relationship, and then you realize that it was all an act. And he just basically got to the point where he couldn't take it anymore. And then he doesn't stick around because he's not the whole time what he really wanted was sex and a relationship. And then when he realized he can't get it, he's out of there. So the friendship was a fraudulent one. It was like a bad long pickup to try to do the friend route. Instead of just being direct and decisive and extend an invitation, you're out. Like as Ronnie said, would you like to go on a date with me? After number 50 said yes.
well, we were just talking about compatibility, and everybody knows how hard it is to date and find somebody you're compatible with. If it's so hard to find somebody you're compatible with, why can't we be friends with all those people that we're not compatible with to date?
You just got to recognize that, or men and women both should learn to be able to recognize when the interest, it really is platonic, and then when it's romantic, but they're hiding it because they don't have the confidence.
Yeah, I think that's a big difference in it. I think there's like the ones where people like try and go the platonic route to try and get eventually over time like wear them down. But I think there's also the ones where it's platonic, but then they both develop like feelings for each other. That's how I got into like one of my longest relationships. So we were just best friends for a long time, and then it just turned into a relationship. It wasn't like I was intentionally trying to like date her from the beginning. It just kind of happened. But I think if your game
Who made the first move?
She did.
Ah, yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So I think there's two sides of that coin. But if you're
It's
going in
always
with the
better if
intention,
women are chasing you.
yeah, if you're going with like the intention though of being the friends and then getting the relationship, that's a horrible game plan. That's not going to work out. You're just wasting
That's
her
not
time and your time.
masculine.
And it's very like deception oriented.
Deceptive. Yep.
Yeah.
It's devious. Shows a character flaw, and that's why it scares women so much. They don't feel safe with that because then they think about all the time they spent together, and it's like, man, this is not why the guy wanted to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. I recently have been single after being, paired up with partners for 25 years. And it's been a learning experience for me because I was used to having male friendships with a husband or with a partner. And now that I'm single and trying to have male friendships, it's not working out. They all don't read the cues. They take things wrong. I'm being too friendly, obviously. I've had to really reel back, my energy with people. I had 25-year-old guy that I was trying to give him advice on his relationships and his business and encourage him. And he took it as a cue. Oh, she wants me. Like, well, he asked me out. Let's go out. I'm like, are you crazy? I'm like double your age. And then I had another person that I took a
He
family
just wanted
in.
a bad round. He was shooting his shot.
I took a family in, and I was letting them stay with me for the last 6 months. And I never put out cues. I would go to my room, close the door, and literally lock the door. That's clear that I'm not trying to hook up, right? If we did sit and watch TV, which was very rare, I sat on the opposite end of the couch, never near him, and went to bed early and never, zero cues. And then I get a text that, he wants to hook up for me, and I had to kick him out the next day because that freaked me out. And I was like, damn, like, can women be friends with guys? Are they always going to think if you're single, that means you're available, and if you're nice to them,
It's not about you not
want them.
sending the wrong cues. It's just him interpreting the cues as being wrong. But you got to recognize when the dude is attracted to you. and he's
Okay,
making a move
tell
on
me
you, and then,
how to
well, I
know.
mean, it's in the book. I mean, you edited that book, by the way.
I got no cues from these guys that they liked me.
Well, if they're calling you and texting you
It
all
was
the
just out of the
time,
blue. But,
well, you were living with them.
you're right. But like, just not hanging out with them. Had
He
a whole separate
obviously
life.
felt comfortable. Well, actually, he was drunk, but
Yeah.
he was drunk and was shooting his shot, and later obviously regretted it when he sobered up.
Yeah. But he was obviously feeling that all along, or he wouldn't have drunk texted it, you know?
Oh, he drunk texted it, not even in
Oh,
person.
yeah.
Damn. That's
So awkward.
He was just a bad pickup artist.
yeah. That's just not like
He
you gotta-
wasn't able to recognize the signs that you weren't interested.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the problem. Most guys can't tell. Because girls make it, when they like you, really like you, they make it obvious.
Yeah. He would knock on my door. He give me some money he owes me or something. I'd be like, okay, have a good night. Close it, and I would lock it back. That's not putting out signals that I'm trying to have sex with him, you know? But so anyway,
He didn't recognize that you weren't interested.
so
could have recognized but refused to believe.
But once he had a little bit of brave juice in the system, he decided, I think I'm going to shoot my shot with my landlord.
yeah, by text too.
by text. I mean,
I think I'm going to shoot my shot with the lady of the house.
so it makes women more guarded. And then
Well, you shouldn't let that dude move in with you in the first place because you're too fucking nice.
I guess I was too nice.
You want to take care. That's
So
the
they might be
bleeding
taking-
heart
yeah.
liberal. Jen's a bleeding heart liberal. She wants to fucking take care of everybody. I don't want to build a wall. I don't want to be a heartless bitch. Let them come in. Let them come in. What about all the gangs? Yeah, it's gonna happen. Oops.
Whoops. Whoops.
Sorry, your family member got killed. Oops.
No.
Can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
So it becomes hard for women to stay guarded. We can't be relaxed and friendly. We can't just be our kind, empathetic, and playful selves. If women are constantly hunted, you know, we're always feeling like we're prey. We want to connect to people in an empathetic way. We want to connect to all people,
Well,
not
you
just
know
have
what?
to connect to women only.
If a dude is swinging his lightsaber around trying to find anything he can, and you're single, you shouldn't be calling and hanging out with them. Because
Yeah.
then they're going to think, oh, she wants my dick.
I get approached by neighbors. I get approached in the grocery store. I get approached just, yeah. Places where it's your safe zone. I'm pumping gas, or I'm in my yard doing yard work, or I'm not at a bar sexing it up.
Wow.
I get it, but you should be grateful that
Yeah.
men are approaching you in general, because there's a lot of women in the world that don't look as good as you, and they're going, and they don't ever get approached, and you're going, these guys are approaching me. You should think of it as a gift. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. I'm have a boyfriend, but thank you. I'm so flattered.
But that ruins the
I'm
friendship.
so flattered.
It ruins
I'm
the
so-
friendship,
I'm so
like
flattered.
the friend relationship that I have with my neighbor. Now I'm not going to talk to my neighbor because I don't want to put out the signals. So I can't be my normal, relaxed, playful, helpful, empathetic, warm, loving self. Now I've got to be this guarded person that goes in her house. And like, we just want to be.
The world is full of bad pickup artists. That's why you should read 3% Man for free. Shameless plug at understandingrelationships.com.
Men who have an emotional connection with their girl best friend tend to misinterpret it as a romantic thing, like the girl is interested in them because they're not used to being emotionally vulnerable in friendships the same way women are with their girlfriends. Women can be friendly to a guy and he will think that they like him. And we're like, this is how we treat all of our friends. But they don't do it with their male friends. So they see friendliness or any sort of emotional connection as a romantic thing. Men don't know how to be intimate without being without physical intimacy. It's as if men are emotionally deprived, so they can't see emotional cues or
The
connections
thirst is
as
real.
platonic.
The thirst is real.
The thirst.
If a guy can have a long-term platonic girl best friend, it's a green flag for women, I think.
Oh, you're talking about your friend who is now married and his wife is suspicious. She's suspicious of Jenny. I think there's something potentially.
No, I think it's good if I'm looking for a man. I like that he has girls in his friend group. I think that's a green
It's social
flag.
proof.
It's a green flag that he has good relationships with women. He respects them. They've hung out.
Or he fucking
They've
likes to hang out with crazy chicks.
they've hung around him because they trust him and
Lunatics.
love him, and that's a good sign. If a guy hangs out in a guy pack and they're this rowdy dudes only and women are avoiding him, that's a red flag to me. If a guy has girlfriends that he's known for a long time, that's a green flag to me. That means he's like an honorable, good dude. But guys see it the opposite. Guys see girls that have guy friends as a threat.
Well, at the end of the day, that's because they're bitches of men. Men take responsibility for everything in their lives. And good, bad, indifferent, you lost your job, your wife cheated on you, she cleaned all your money out of the bank account before she left you, got a good attorney, hopped on a plane, flew to another part of the world, and you're not able to see your kids or whatever. It's like things like that happen. And the reality is, as a man, you got to say, I'm a self-reliant dude. If she took off and left me in this position, it's like, well, obviously I attracted that into my life. Something you said yes to her, and that was your best thinking at the time. So you can't say it was all her. If she was a train wreck and you married her anyway, or you moved in where they had kids with her anyway, that's on you. You said yes to her. If you live in a state that has laws that if you decide you want to get divorced, you're going to get crushed financially. That means that's a bad business deal financially for you. And yet you do it anyway, and then you get crushed. That's on you as a man. The way the law works is you can't go, oh, I didn't know that was the law. The police officer is going to go, doesn't matter. Your ignorance of law doesn't matter. Here's your ticket, or you're going to jail, or whatever. It's on you. You attracted it into your life. You said yes to it. Maybe you need to improve your skills, your selection skills, your pre-qualification skills, which apply to all areas of your life. But bottom line is, as a man, you got to do better. Nobody cares about your problems. Some of your friends, if you're going through a tough time, are kind of glad. They're like, I'm glad that dude got knocked down a few notches. He was a little arrogant and cocky, thought he was better than me. And now looking up, I feel better. I mean, there's people like that in your life. So do better. Success is the best kind of revenge. I can't remember somebody said that was I think it was Frank Sinatra. Success is the best kind of revenge. And so succeeding, crushing it, getting in shape, losing the weight, building a great business, getting a better job, becoming CEO, getting the hotter girl, succeeding even more, that's the best kind of revenge. Your chick screwed you over and everybody agrees that you got screwed over, you got the raw end of the deal. And then you go out and you crush it in your career, your business, and then you get a hotter, younger girl and have an amazing family or whatever, amazing life. And then she's not doing well. It's like, you can't outrun karma. If you focus on you and you take care of your shit and you take 100% responsibility, everything that comes into your life, good or bad, it's my fault. I attracted it. I said yes to it or whatever. That's what self-reliant men do. That's you just get back on the horse and you keep moving forward. You keep grinding.
So that led me to the internet to kind of do some research on why guys can't have physical intimacy. And what I discovered was this wasn't always the case in history. Guy friends were more physically intimate. Like they would even actually dance on the dance floor together, or, this is a more recent thing. And also in other cultures, they'll greet each other kissing on the cheek and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I did a little searching to figure out like why guys can't be physically intimate. So I found an article from betterhelp.com and it says, "What are different types of attraction?" by Sarah Fader. And she says, sexual attraction is only one of the many different types out there. When you're attracted to someone sexually, you may or may not be attracted to them in other ways, and you can be attracted to people when no sexual attraction is present.
Huh?
Alongside sexual
You
attraction.
can be attracted to people when no sexual attraction is present. What does that mean?
You can be
You
attracted
can be
to their
attracted to them.
intelligence.
You can be attracted to them, but they're not attracted to you.
You can be attracted. Okay, when you're attracted to someone sexually, you may or may not be attracted to them in other ways. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier when you could be
You can be
looking.
attracted to people when no sexual attraction is present. What you're talking about attraction in this context means that you could be attracted to their intellect. In other words, you like their intellect.
You love being with that person. They make you laugh. They're fun to shop with.
You just don't want to fuck
They're
them.
motivational. They give you help with your work. They give you advice on your kids.
You don't want to bump uglies with them.
You're not compatible sexually. That's not the way you feel attracted. You feel attracted to because they feel your need for companionship or friendship or humor.
Well, why do you? That's just liking them as a person. That's not being attracted. Because attracted applies. There's some kind of soul connection or spiritual connection, and you feel the urge to merge.
Well, I have best girlfriends that I can hold their hands and like we can lay in bed and take naps together or watch TV together. We can lay on the couch and look at TikTok and we're like touching. Like I don't see guys do that. So I guess that's what this is leading into is.
Yeah, but that's just loving them and caring about them as a person and showing human affection.
Okay, I'm trying to get to physical touch though.
Because like I said, I'm just saying the word attracted means that there is some kind of attraction.
So you're saying friends won't.
So if you
physically?
like their intellect, you like their intellect. You're not attracted to their intellect. You like their intellect. You enjoy them as a person. You're not attracted to them as a person. You like them as a person. You enjoy them as a person.
Well, she goes on to say, alongside sexual attraction is romantic attraction, physical attraction, emotional attraction, and aesthetic attraction. Each is entirely different, and though you may feel each of them for one person, you may feel them each for someone
The
different.
bottom line is that word salad is you want that person. You want them.
In your life, period.
You want them. You want them emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically.
So that article led me to this one from the New York Times called The Power of Touch, Especially for Men by Andrew Reiner. And he was talking at the beginning of the article about losing his father and how, the father-son relationship is not a lovey, hold hands type of thing, but he was holding his dad's hand as his dad was dying, sort of thing. So he says, I have learned that many middle-aged American men share this discomfort with reaching for another man's hand, but experts say that non-sexual touching contributes to greater well-being.
Yeah, in the Middle East, they do that a lot. They walk and hold each other's hands.
They do?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
But in the West, it's like you just men and women.
Tou-
Or you walk with your kids and you hold their hands.
Yeah, touch is it's very different culturally.
But in the West, if you see two men walking down the street, you're going to assume they're boyfriend girlfriend.
Right.
They could be father and brother, two best friends, two brothers,
Yeah.
cousins. But in the Middle East, they do that. It's like not a big deal.
And this article did go in to talk about how men avoid that in American culture because they don't want other men to assume that they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It goes on to say, touch has been found, among other things, to reduce stress, heart rate, and blood pressure. Touch has even been found to lower the level of cortisol in the body, especially in women, which, when elevated, impedes our working memory and, most critically, the immune system's resiliency. It should be great news that something free, widely available, and lacking in harmful side effects is so good for us, but it gets ignored in touch-averse culture like ours. Yes, Americans are generally gregarious, but unlike, say, Italians, Greeks, the French, or Latinos, that friendly intimacy is largely limited to our mouths. According to Jay Skidmore, a former chairman of the psychology department of Seattle Pacific University, quote, social cultural trends in America have focused for decades on redirecting touch.
Reducing touch, you mean?
Reducing. What did I say?
Redirecting.
Oh, sorry. Social.
Which is basically what the propaganda does. It redirects that and prevents or discourages human interaction. If you can get human beings to behave colder towards one another, they're less attached to one another, and therefore they can be propagandized to be more
divided,
more loyal to the state or the authority.
Mm-hmm. It goes on to say the psychologist Ofer Zur notes.
That's why, sorry to interrupt,
Yeah,
Marxists want to do away with the nuclear family, and they openly talk about that. They want the kids to be loyal to the state. Like the Hillary Clinton, it takes a village to raise the children. They literally want the government or the state to be the ultimate authority with how the children are raised. Because then if the children aren't loyal to parents, then the children will do what the state says or what the authorities say who are teaching them and raising them.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get ideological conformity. Mao called it is like making new human beings. They would educate the youth in the new communist ways, and the old ones who didn't comply or go along were killed or starved to death or put in a gulag.
The psychologist Ofer Zor notes that for most 20th and 21st century American men, physical contact is restricted to violence or sex. As the sociologist Michael Kimmel, who studies masculinity, said in an email, touch between straight men can occur only when physical contact, quote, magically loses its association with homosexuality, end quote, as happens in sports.
Well, as men, you hug, like me and my close friends, we always hug each other when we see each other.
Right. But if you
But
hug
it's
a
not.
woman, then it's like,
No, I hug my close women friends, my
Yeah.
aunts.
Okay.
My aunt, we kiss in the lips, just like I would my mother.
Yeah, as it should be.
That's it's like the grandma.
So to end this, it says a big part of the problem for men is how they handle that 21st century scourge that kills men younger than it does women, stress. Women employ a tend and befriend approach that invites confidence in and cooperation with people who can help them externalize their struggles and find succor. Not men. When faced with stressors, they tend to turn cowboy, growing stoic, emotionally withdrawn, and too often isolated. It's true that, unlike men, women receive higher levels of oxytocin, the calming bonding hormone and neurotransmitter, when they are stressed, which enhances their ability to cope. But research shows that men's, as well as women's, level of oxytocin rise when they receive affectionate touch from their partner, and that doses of oxytocin through the nose, fear is reduced, and degrees of trust, generosity, and empathy rise. So I guess what I'm saying by all this is that we should be encouraged to touch more. It shouldn't be a sign that a woman is sexually attracted because she touches you on your arm, or is friendly to you, or supportive, or wants to have a friendship with you, because there's multiple versions of attraction. It doesn't have to always be a cue of physical sexual attraction. It's kind of what I was getting at. The getting back to, can men and women be friends? Because it comes down to their reading cues, you know?
You got to learn to recognize the signs that somebody's interested. They're calling you, they're texting you, they're wanting to hang out. Maybe they get close to you, they bump into you, they touch you.
Mm-hmm.
They ask you to spend time with them in romantic settings.
What are cues that a guy is interested? That would be really good
What I was
advice.
just saying.
No, I mean physical cues. Like, usually say if women touch their hair, bump into you, it's the same for men.
You physically get closer to that person.
Mm-hmm.
They may put their arm around you. It's, the joke is like when you're young and you're in a movie theater, you slowly reach your arm around and put your arm around the girl, hoping that she likes it. Maybe puts her arm around you, and then you move in for the kiss. They always make a joke out of that in movies,
I miss
But when you're
that.
young, you don't know. You don't know when's the right time to go
You're
for
so
it.
nervous. I remember that when
Yeah.
I was young. Such an exciting day going to the movies and just wondering when the kiss is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The guy might ask you a lot about a guy you're dating. Is that going to be serious? Is it going to become serious? What do you, almost in a kind of a way where he's probing, where he's trying to go, do I still got a chance? Is there time yet? Is she taken? Is she committed to that guy? Because, the weak guy, because your problem is you're hanging a lot of dudes that are basically, they're male orbiters. And now that you're free and available again, they're shooting their shot.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they had other relationships for the longest time, but now they're single at the same time you are. They never read a book like this, and that's they basically got the competency level of a high schooler,
Right.
trying to be a pickup artist,
right,
with no fucking game, no self-awareness, no ability to read that, like you would lock in the door and I'm not interested, and you're going out of your way to make it clear that you're trying to keep the dude
Right.
at bay. And he always respected that. He got the cues. But, when obviously he had a few cocktails, maybe he's lonely, maybe he just got rejected or a date didn't go well. He's thinking, yeah, I can shoot my shot with Jenny.
yeah. So,
Hey, girl. Hey, girl. What you doing?
another day in my chaotic life. But I'm learning. Thank God I work for you.
No one will ever do or say anything to you that you don't invite them to do.
So it was all invited.
Yeah. Well, you let him live in your house.
But the other guy, I didn't invite that other
You
guy.
let him live in your house after his mother moved out.
Yeah.
I
That was a
remember I
mistake.
told you when that shit went down. I was like, "What? You're out of your mind. You were just excited that you finally got your house to yourself, and now you're letting these people move in. You're like, I want to take care of everybody. I just love everybody. I want to take care of them all. They're all my children. I love them all. I want to take care of everybody."
It was just one day that
You're
I
too
was put
fucking
out.
nice,
I know. I'm sorry. It's who
and you
I
got taken
am.
advantage of.
It's me.
And I warned you.
It's me. I
I
have
warned
no
you.
regrets. The only regret
No
was that one
regrets.
situation. But I handled the situation, so it's okay. You live and you learn.
Yeah,